With Grant Ramey, Brent Hubbs, Volquest.com, it's time for the Exteriors Home Solutions Fast Break as Tennessee falls at Texas A&M 85 to 69. Grant, big picture, what's the takeaway here from tonight?
You better guard the 3-point line better. Maybe you go into this game thinking we'll give A&M some looks at the three. They're one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the country according to the analytics, and then they go off in the first half and they hit 8 in the first 12 minutes, and suddenly you're down 30 to whatever it was. It feels like you're swimming way upstream on the road in a tough environment. Wade Taylor's making 30-footers. Tyrese Radford's doing whatever he wants. Got to be tougher. Got to be better defensive. That's where you hang your hat. They've improved offensively. Now they got to guard the perimeter a little bit better in these kind of games.
All right, so when Tennessee lost to South Carolina, Rick Barnes was talking extensively about his offense no-showing. Is this game, this loss here, more about the defense no-showing, or is it again about the offense at this point?
They did a pretty good job of kind of failing on both ends in this one because they had good looks. They didn't hit a lot of shots tonight. Dalton Connect, he had 22, ended up 22. I think he made 3 out of his last 4 threes. He missed his first 3 shots from the field. I think at one point he had 14 on 15 shots maybe. So he struggled. They had a lot of shots just kind of rim out with like pretty good looks. And they just didn't make them. And A&M was making them on the other end. And for the second game in a row, you know, they hammered LSU Wednesday night, but they got hammered in rebounding. And they go to Texas A&M, and Buzz Williams teams, the Aggies, they're always going to be one of the best rebounding teams in college basketball. And they gave up 17 rebounds to one player on Texas A&M's team. So you can't get beat. If you're going to miss shots, you better be tough on the boards. And they haven't been tough enough on the boards the last 2 games, even though they won by 20 going away Wednesday night, but they kind of paid the price for it tonight because they got to be better on the boards. They got to be better defensively. They got to be better offensively. Tonight, it just kind of felt like a culmination of everything. Just a rough night on the road where if it could go wrong, it would.
Yeah, I mean, part of this is you lost a road game, which everybody in college basketball seems to be losing. But we're getting to that point in the season where you're starting to think about next month and you're starting to think about what sends you home for the season. Tennessee, the last 3 games, has given up 46 offensive rebounds. Is that guys trying to get out and transition too fast? Is that just a lack of effort, a lack of focus? When you watch this team, even though they've won 2 of the last 3, what do you look at when you see this team's offense or struggles in terms of giving up so many offensive rebounds the last 3 games?
I mean, we talked to Justin Gainey on Friday, Tennessee's associate head coach, and basically asked him like, what's going on with the rebounding? What was the struggle Wednesday? And I guess what's the struggle tonight? He said they weren't pushing out, or they weren't boxing out enough. Like maybe there was an initial box out and there wasn't enough pushed there. Rick Barnes Wednesday night, they're trying to go get too many rebounds with one hand. And when you do that, the ball gets tapped away from you and you don't come up with it. I think they got to be better. They got to be tougher down low more than anything. And just it's more of a mentality, I think, and a mindset that you're going to go in there and you're going to rebound better than it is just skill or fundamentals or whatever. Like it's got to be ingrained in your mind when you go into a game. Like we're going to set the tone on the glass. We're going to be better there. And it's something that I asked Rick Barnes after the game if he's concerned with these kind of performances, just in total, kind of the losses to South Carolina and again tonight Texas A&M. He said he's not. It's a long season. They learn from this kind of thing and they move on. Well, I think the lesson needs to be they got to be way better, way tougher, more consistently rebounding. Texas A&M a good rebounding team, LSU's a good rebounding team, but you still got to hold your own to make that stand up with the other strengths that this team has.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's no shame in losing on the road in Texas A&M. Now, you got to play better than you played. The one that hurts you is losing at home to South Carolina when you talk about the big picture and the standings. You mentioned this on the Mailbag podcast on Thursday about Tennessee's need to start fast because of the environment that was going to be there. You're on the road. Tennessee did the opposite of that. They stay on the road. What's the key to Tennessee getting out of the gates better moving forward as they travel to Arkansas on Tuesday night for another 9 o'clock for a late night start, which is not anybody's favorite in that program?
You need to make shots. You need to see a couple go down quickly. I think that's what happened at Rupp Arena a week ago when Tennessee went in there and scored 100 and whatever 3 points. I think it was because they started fast and because they built some of that confidence in those first few possessions. I mean, they got out 8-0 in that game. They got out 13-3 before Kentucky took a timeout. In these other games, South Carolina, they got down 7-0 and they missed their first 7 shots from the field in the first 4 minutes at home. Like they got to be better in those opening minutes. They got to make shots. They got to see shots go down. if it's as simple as just making shots, or if it's executing the offense better, getting better looks, getting the guy the ball in the right guy's hands. I mean, Dalton Connect had a pretty good look at a three on Tennessee's first possession tonight, and it rimmed off, and Texas A&M got the board. Then it went the other way with it. You got to get defensive stops, obviously, but you got to make some shots. You got to see something go down. They're going to have to. The last thing they're going to want to do at Arkansas. Arkansas is not a good team. They haven't had a good season. They won today. I think they beat Georgia at home. That's a game Tennessee has to win. Tennessee should win. But if they get off to a slow start and they get let Bud Walton kind of get it against them and don't take the air out of that arena quickly, it could be another rough one, because it's tough to win on the road in college basketball, regardless of who you play, what their record is, whatever bracketology seeding they have next to them, ranking, whatever. Regardless, it's hard to go on the road and win. It's doubly hard to go on the road and win if you start slow and fight an uphill battle the rest of the way.
Yeah, and this league is as good as it's been in a long, long time. When you talk about the depth of this, I mean, somewhere between 8 and 10 teams probably going to find themselves into the NCAA tournament, depending on how the rest of this month goes. Tennessee's in the NCAA tournament. Everybody's talking about seeding, but tonight everybody's talking about what went wrong and what does Tennessee have to fix moving forward, so you don't have a night like this in March that sends you home early. Grant Ramey, thanks for all your coverage from College Station. We have more coverage coming up throughout the weekend, and obviously next week as Tennessee gets ready to take on Arkansas. That's going to do it for this edition of the Exterior Home Solutions Fast Break. He's Grant Ramey. I'm Brent Hubbs, Volquest.com.
Your roof, it's the most important protection against nature for your home or your business. That's why I trust the experts at Exterior Home Solutions.